Morning, Howard.
Good morning. How are you guys this morning? I hope you enjoy watching the playoffs down there.
Hey, it's all we can do at this point.
We
Howard,
actually did.
I got to tell you, and you probably know this, we love having you on. Half our audience hates when we have you on. They hate your guts.
Yeah.
That's all right. I feel. You know what? That's a sense of love.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's a good thing.
That's exactly right. And they ought to hate their team, not me.
I'm one of those idiots because when Wentz went down and Foles was there, I think I said multiple times, there's no way Foles is going to get this team to the Super Bowl. And I can't believe how well he's played, certainly in that Viking game. I mean, he was unbelievable. The dime he dropped to Smith in the left corner was incredible. You had to be surprised at how well he played, too.
Well, I was not shocked. I was surprised, not that he played well. I was surprised that he played as well.
Right.
I mean, who thinks that a quarterback's going to go into a game and only have 7 incompletions? And he threw close to 60 passes in those 2 games. No, you can't think he's going to play that well. I watched him during the bye week. I'm down there every day. I'll go down. The players are off, but I go down there today. Some of the coaches are speaking, and I'm there, and I watched him, and I watched to see how he reacted around the facility. He was very comfortable. He's very confident. The bye week was actually good, not from a physical standpoint from him, which it was for the other players, but to look back at the things that he had done well, and I saw that he realized he's got to be aggressive. He can't hesitate. Got to be decisive. But I could see his comfort level, and the players would tell me the same thing. You can tell when a guy's nervous and he's worried about the moment or the moments that could be coming. Nick Foles wasn't that way, but I thought he played well. But how could anybody think that he would pass it this well? But I did think he'd play well.
I just couldn't believe they were underdogs in both of those games. You got to think that the players are paying attention a little bit, and they take that personal.
Yeah, they do, but once the ball's kicked off, you can't think about those things. It was a good rallying cry. Remember, you had 2 weeks to talk about a game, which for players, it's the same question. So there was a different storyline. So they picked up on that storyline, and then they started, Lane Johnson and Chris Long started with the dog masks and being the underdogs. Then the fans grasped onto that and bought their dog masks. And but I don't know. Bulletin board stuff I think is overrated. I think this Eagles team, and I don't know how maybe other teams need that. If you need that, then you're not good enough. Because you shouldn't have that. You should have confidence in your ability, the confidence in your team. This Eagles team is together a team with the best chemistry I have ever covered for an Eagles team. So that's part of it, the underdog thing. But what was amazing to me, the fact that number 1 seeds at home in conference championships were 28-12. Mm-hmm. And here is an amazing statistic that I had last week, and I tweeted it out. Teams in the playoffs that have won on the last play of the game, and that's happened 5 times. The next game, all 5 lost, but here is the most amazing thing, by an average of 24 points.
Wow.
Those teams lost by an average. And I looked at that and I said, well, I think the Eagles, I thought the Eagles were going to win the 2 games, and I thought they were going to win against Minnesota. But an average of 24 points, and then they started rolling it up. I said, that part of it was really amazing. And Nick Foles just felt better and better. And Carson Wentz, even though he's hurt, sits on the bench with him. And when he comes off the field, when he feels that he needs something explained on that Microsoft tablet that they look at, he was there for him. He was there after the first series, and he'll talk to him. Nick Foles has just got so much confidence, and the home team is big in the playoffs. That's why the Patriots have gotten to so many Super Bowls. They played in a horrible division. They always have the home field advantage. I don't think they're always the best team when they won Super Bowls, but they always get the home field, and that's really important in the playoffs. And the crowd adds to that. So everything considered, whether they were the underdogs or not, they were at home, they had their fans, and that was probably the biggest part of it.
And then whatever Jim Schwartz is dialing up defensively, man, that is working, because that was I was surprised by a couple things, Howard. I was surprised at Foles. We just talked about that. I didn't think he'd play that well. And then I was surprised at how bad the Vikings defense was. But the Eagles defense, man, they were impressive in that game.
They were, and Jim Schwartz does not like to blitz, but he dialed up some blitzes, not a lot, at key times, and he did it in the Atlanta game. It's amazing. This season, when the Eagles played Denver this year, they were the number one defense that came into Philadelphia. The Eagles scored 51 on them. All right, they played Minnesota. They were the number one defense in the NFL, and they scored 38 on them. They're in the Super Bowl. They've got to be good, and it's amazing that the defense, really, the Eagles' defense, which is really good and high in the NFL, sets the tone for a lot of those games, and it allows the offense to be the way they are.